People fear what they cannot read. Not ideas, not intentions, not movements, but the unpredictability of the mind. The world is full of individuals who are transparent, predictable, and easily manipulated. Their words, actions, and reactions are written on their faces. They can be anticipated. They can be controlled. The truly dangerous, however, operate differently. They are unreadable. Their motives are concealed. Their emotions are invisible. They move through life like shadows, unpredictable yet deliberate, calm yet commanding. Their silence is a weapon. Their ambiguity is power. And the world fears them, because predictability is the domain of the controllable. When someone can be read, they can be manipulated. When someone can be anticipated, they can be cornered. When someone is transparent, their energy, decisions, and influence are exposed to exploitation. Being unreadable is not a matter of deceit. It is a matter of control. Control over what others perceive, control over emotional displays, control over the narrative of your presence. It is the invisible shield that allows you to operate without interference, to influence without resistance, and to dominate without confrontation. This video will reveal why people instinctively fear what they cannot read, why unpredictability commands respect and influence, and how mastering your unreadability transforms you into someone untouchable in a world obsessed with control. Once you understand this principle, you no longer have to explain yourself. You no longer have to react to every provocation. You simply exist in a state of deliberate ambiguity, and in that state, power becomes inevitable, influence becomes silent, and fear becomes a tool in your hands. The mind that cannot be read is the mind that cannot be controlled. Most people operate openly. They reveal their thoughts, intentions, and weaknesses through their words, tone, body language, and reactions. This transparency is weakness. Every facial expression, every emotional cue, every predictable response gives others the ability to influence, manipulate, and dominate. Consider the psychology of fear. Humans fear what is unknown, what is unpredictable, what challenges their understanding. A person whose intentions are clear is comforting. Their motives can be anticipated, but the one whose mind cannot be deciphered triggers uncertainty, discomfort, and ultimately, fear. This fear is not irrational, it is primal. The world has always respected those who are unreadable, because unpredictability is power in its purest form. The unreadable person understands that influence is not just action but perception. The moment others can anticipate your behavior, they gain leverage. Your power diminishes. Your presence becomes negotiable. Control is lost. To remain unreadable, you must master emotional sovereignty, mental clarity, and deliberate ambiguity. Anger, excitement, or fear displayed openly invites exploitation. Calmness, neutrality, and strategic silence cultivate the aura of untouchability. Unpredictability must also be deliberate. Randomness alone is chaos. It is not power. Power is rooted in intention. The unreadable moves deliberately yet in ways that are opaque to observers. They speak selectively, act strategically, and conceal emotional states. This invisibility frustrates manipulation, disrupts assumptions, and commands respect. History is full of examples. Great leaders, tacticians, and philosophers wielded influence precisely because they could not be read. Their enemies were forced to guess motives, predict actions, and second-guess decisions. In that gap between anticipation and reality lies leverage. The unreadable convert uncertainty into dominance, hesitation into compliance, and fear into influence. Being unreadable is not only about external presentation, it is internal mastery. One must control impulses, suppress obvious emotional reactions, and cultivate strategic awareness. Every thought, gesture, and word must serve an agenda of influence, not reaction. Emotional predictability is the greatest vulnerability. Unreadability transforms vulnerability into power. Finally, the unreadable understand that fear is a tool. When people cannot read you, they hesitate. They second-guess. They tread carefully. Every interaction becomes an arena where you control the tempo, the perception, and ultimately, the outcome. Predictable people operate under the illusion of safety. Unreadable people dictate the terms of engagement. The ordinary world punishes transparency. People who wear emotions on their sleeves, who react predictably, who reveal intentions, become easy targets. In the workplace, a predictable colleague is manipulated, undermined, or controlled by peers and bosses. In relationships, emotional predictability invites exploitation, drama, and control. In social dynamics, transparent individuals are read, analyzed, and influenced, their energy drained by the manipulations of others. The unreadable mind operates differently. In business, strategic ambiguity creates leverage. Competitors cannot anticipate moves, so they overthink and hesitate. Negotiations favor the unreadable because their calm and calculated presence unsettles impulsive counterparts. Their silence conveys authority, their unpredictability becomes influence. No one dares to challenge them openly because every interaction is a psychological minefield. In relationships, unreadability fosters respect. People cannot manipulate what they cannot read. Emotional neutrality and deliberate ambiguity prevent provocation and control. The unreadable chooses when to reveal, when to withhold, and when to act. They create psychological boundaries that others unconsciously obey. Whereas the predictable respond to every slight, the unreadable observe, calculate, and respond only when it amplifies influence or protects energy. Even in daily life, unreadability is power. Social media, public perception, and casual interactions are battlegrounds of influence. Those who can be read are influenced, judged, and controlled by observers. Those who maintain strategic ambiguity dictate perception. Their presence unsettles others. They operate freely, without distraction, and without manipulation. The fear generated by unreadable individuals is natural. Humans are wired to fear what is unpredictable. When someone cannot be read, uncertainty dominates the interaction. Others hesitate, second-guess, and lose psychological leverage. This subtle fear shifts power without confrontation. The unreadable do not instill fear through aggression. They do it through control over perception, energy, and clarity. To survive, to influence, and to dominate in this world, unreadability is not optional. It is essential. People will always test, provoke, and analyze. Those who can be read are controlled. Those who cannot are untouchable. Mastering unreadability transforms social dynamics, personal interactions, and professional engagements. Fear becomes your ally, not your enemy, because people naturally respect, hesitate, and comply when they cannot decipher you. The unreadable mindset begins with internal mastery. Thoughts, impulses, and emotions must be observed and controlled. Anger, excitement, desire, and fear are tools, not commands. Before you act, consider the perception you create. Decide which reactions serve influence and which betray control. Next, cultivate strategic ambiguity. Speak selectively. Share intentions sparingly. Act deliberately yet unpredictably. Randomness without purpose is chaos. Deliberate unpredictability is influence. People should never be able to anticipate your next move, yet everything you do must align with long-term strategy. Control emotional expression. Facial expressions, tone, and body language convey information. Master subtlety. Neutrality is power. Calmness is authority. Silence is leverage. Allow others to expose themselves through their reactions while maintaining your own composure. The unreadable absorbs no energy. They conserve influence. Develop situational awareness. Observe motives, predict actions, and anticipate consequences without emotional attachment. Detachment allows strategic positioning. Others reveal their intentions while you remain opaque. You operate with foresight. They operate with assumption. This is the heart of unreadable dominance. Practice deliberate withholding. Not every opinion, feeling, or strategy is disclosed. Concealment creates mystery and fear. Reveal selectively and strategically, ensuring every disclosure enhances influence. The less predictable you are, the more control you wield. Finally, internalize the psychology of fear. Recognize that people fear what they cannot read. Use this subtle fear to create boundaries, command respect, and assert authority without conflict. The unreadable mindset transforms hesitation in others into leverage, indecision into opportunity, and psychological uncertainty into dominance. Through these practices, internal mastery, strategic ambiguity, emotional control, situational awareness, and selective revelation, the unreadable becomes untouchable. Others' predictions fail. Their manipulation attempts collapse. Influence becomes invisible yet undeniable. Fear becomes respect. Unreadability becomes a lifestyle, a strategy, and a shield. The world fears what it cannot understand. Humans are wired to fear unpredictability, to mistrust ambiguity, and to hesitate when confronted with uncertainty. Those who can be read are vulnerable. Those who cannot are untouchable. Mastering unreadability is not deception, it is sovereignty. It is control over perception, energy, and reaction. It is operating above the chaos of expectation and manipulation. When others cannot read your motives, anticipate your actions, or predict your reactions, they surrender invisible power to you. This fear, subtle yet powerful, becomes your advantage. People hesitate. They second-guess. They reveal weaknesses that you can observe without engagement. Influence becomes effortless, authority becomes silent, and dominance becomes natural. You do not command through aggression. You command through presence, control, and calculated ambiguity. In life, business, relationships, and social interaction, unreadability shields you from manipulation. It transforms emotional energy into strategic advantage. It turns uncertainty in others into leverage. Every provocation becomes irrelevant. Every attempt at control fails. You exist untouchable, calm, deliberate, and invisible yet dominant. Remember this: transparency is vulnerability. Predictability is weakness. The world respects those it cannot read. To cultivate unreadability is to claim freedom, influence, and psychological dominance. Your presence alone becomes a force, shaping interactions without effort and creating boundaries others dare not cross. People fear what they cannot read. Make yourself unreadable. Make yourself untouchable. And in a world desperate to control, you will remain sovereign, free, and unstoppable.